स्कूल
ने
का
भेजा। हाँ।
बाय सेक्शन बाय चैप्टर करना होता है।
अच्छा।
और करेगा कौन वो? Because I'm just opening the whiteboard. Let me just delete some of the papers and delete. Okay. Delete. Delete. Okay. Your school gave question on distribution in assignment.
हाँ जी सर, आपको एक्चुअली वो पूछे थे ना इक्वेशन का, जो हम कर रहे थे मिसलेनियस में से।
कौन से वाली?
इक्वेशन वाला जो क्वेश्चन था
इक्वेशन।
मिसलेनियस जो कर रहे थे,
ओके, क्या था?
वो हमने छोड़ दिया था।
कौन से वाला है?
सेकंड क्वेश्चन है मिसलेनियस एक्सरसाइज का।
ओके, ठीक है, विल कम बैक टू दैट। नोटेड। ऐसे हर चैप्टर में एक एक आधा आधा क्वेश्चन भी छूटा हुआ है।
ये सर मुझे पता चल गया कैसे करना है।
अच्छा, ओके ओके, so let's do some exemplar, some revision of theory, some untouched topics, so
ओके।
some results. So these are the important results for your combination. Okay. Very useful to solve a lot of questions. Very, very useful. Used very often to solve the problems. Okay, this is different. A question, one of the questions is going to be on this. Topic. All right, so let's try something which is bit algebraic and not word oriented, because one of the question is going to be okay. Okay, try this. Fill in the blanks.
हो गया सर।
ओके
40 मिनट।
42 सही है। कैंसल कैंसल। अच्छा यू डिड अ डिविजन, ओके, आर फैक्टोरियल, ओके, नॉट बैड।
क्या करूँ?
अब आई एम गोइंग ऑन द मेथड यू टोल्ड मी।
नहीं नहीं, एक मिनट, अभी क्या कर रहे हैं इमेज के साथ?
इट लुक्स गुड ऑन द स्क्रीन।
बिल्कुल नहीं अच्छी लग रही है।
कोई बात नहीं, यू कैन मेक बेटर,
थंबनेल लगा दो यार।
समथिंग लाइक दैट, समथिंग
ये
लाइक
क्यों
दैट,
लगा?
नॉट एग्जैक्टली दैट बट यस, समथिंग लाइक दैट।
ये क्या है?
ठीक है। नो नो, दिस लुक्स लाइक टाटा, टाटा कंपनी टीचिंग।
ऐसा लग रहा है कि दीवार पे ना पोस्टर चिपका दिया हो।
कह सकते हैं
बड़ी सी सफेद दीवार दीवार।
एडवर्टीजमेंट पोस्टर, ओके।
हाँ, वो भी नहीं लग रहा है ये।
वो भी नहीं लग रहा, गुमशुदा की तलाश,
अब उस टाइप में लग रहा
ओके, भागा हुआ कैदी भाग गया, चलो ठीक है।
है। मिसिंग मिसिंग एडवर्टीजमेंट।
यप, एग्जैक्टली, क्राइम पेट्रोल, मैथ्स का भगोड़ा साइंस छोड़ के भाग गया, डर गया साइंस से।
ओके। वाला थोड़ा सा वो है।
यू सी द प्रॉपर्टीज, एनसीआर
प्रॉपर्टी।
पे है ना ये। हाँ, it's NCR. So just note that these are in sequence, one after another. Okay. NCR एक कम, so ये एक कम है और ये उसके अगले वाला है. So if you combine these two, what will happen? And then take minus common from here also, and use this. See if results in some resultant. Take any two. Take first two, then second two pair.
इनको जरा पढ़ते हैं। तो चश्मे से सर दुखने लग गया अब बुरी तरह।
थोड़ी देर के लिए पहनो एंड लाइक वी आर स्टडिंग, हम तो बहुत गलत तरीके से पढ़ रहे हैं बिकॉज वी शुड टेक अ ब्रेक आफ्टर एवरी 20 minutes एंड ब्लिंक अवर आईज, या इधर उधर देखना चाहिए. वी शुड जनरली, व्हेन आई यूज्ड टू टीच अर्लियर, आई यूज्ड टू टेक अ ब्रेक 20 minutes के बाद. आई वुड टेक अ 2-3 minute ब्रेक, क्लॉक लगा देता था मैं. सो एवरी स्टूडेंट वॉज एक्सपेक्टेड टू लुक हेयर एंड देयर और गो अवे, हैव सम वाटर, या घर में घूम के चक्कर लगा के आओ. कुर्सी से भी उठना जरूरी होता है. सो we are doing two things wrong which can bring us disease. One is eye, the other is body.
सर एक चीज है, ये क्या कहते हैं,
बोलो.
इसमें एन अलग अलग है।
किसमें?
इसमें एन इसमें अलग अलग है ना, 9। अच्छा नहीं, अच्छा सेम है।
No, no, there are two which are same.
अच्छा अच्छा।
All are same actually.
नहीं, अच्छा एन इज सेम।
You can do this by pairs. Pick up these two and then these two and apply this property.
16 CR,
Hmm.
16 C9।
Yo.
16 C7।
Hmm.
सर ये 0 आ रहा है।
Okay, cancel.
हाँ।
Okay, show me. 15C8 plus becomes 16C9, and that becomes from the other property. Badhiya. Nice. You got it. Okay. Not bad. Okay. Have you heard about de-arrangement?
है जी।
De-arrangement. So one is arrangement, the other is de-arrangement.
ओके, पहली बार सुनो।
Okay. We'll do it later. अभी थोड़ा सा दिल्ली दूर है. We'll do something simpler to start with, and then
दिल्ली दूर एक नया मुहावरा ही बन गया।
no, it's very famous, man.
अच्छा, मेरा ये आईआईटी दिल्ली से इंस्पायर्ड है।
नहीं नहीं. Okay, so just a simple concept question, not very complicated. Just to keep. Okay, so this is. Okay, so if m plus np 2 is given to be 90. So this is permutation. Okay, so relatively simple. And m minus np2 is equal to 30. You have to find the value of
MNN।
no m plus n, which is one and the same thing. If you can find that, you can find the other one also.
सर एक चीज बताओ,
Hmm.
ये N इंटू P2 है
Where?
दिस?
No, no, this is no, no, this is ऊपर है. This is like NPR.
NPR ना?
So this is M. Basically, it's this. These are together. This is complete N.
ओके, these are together।
They are together. It's not M.
अच्छा
Permutation में
अच्छा,
और क्या होगा?
ठीक है ठीक है।
Yes. Okay. Why do they repeat the same questions in Exemplar?
ये तो कुछ अजीब सा ही आ रहा है।
Let us check. ठीक है. Okay. M plus n. So cross multiply. Open the bracket.
पर वो
Cut.
कैंसिल कुछ नहीं हो रहा।
नहीं, अब जब अच्छा 3 आ गया क्योंकि ओके देखते हैं. हो सकता है स्क्वायर आ जाए, कुछ बन जाए. कंबरसम हो गया थोड़ा. ओह मैन.
पर एक आइडिया तो आया है।
कॉम्पिटेंट
एक
और डिविडेंड.
नहीं
नो नो, डोंट यूज दैट नाउ, रुक जाओ. डू अ
नहीं, वो मैं
क्रॉस.
यूज नहीं कर रहा।
ओके. डू अ क्रॉस, आई थिंक यू शुड.
कुछ सिंपलीफाई तो हो रहा है।
This was an opportunity to show what you're good at. You had found a method. Anyway, but I will just keep quiet and enjoy this. Oh, you haven't done cross multiplication. No. Acha, you're completing. Oh, अच्छा. ये रीराइट कर लिया.
हम्म.
ओह, बढ़िया. फैक्टराइज हो जाएगा तो वापस वही आ जाएगा जो ऊपर है. m प्लस एन इंटू एम प्लस एन माइनस वन. सेम ही तो आ गया. यू हैव m माइनस एन ना
हम्म.
नीचे. दिस
हाँ.
इज, हाउ इज दिस प्लस? एक मिनट. माइनस एन इंटू एन प्लस एन एंड m into minus 1 is minus m. How is this plus m?
ओ सॉरी.
होना नहीं चाहिए. अब ये फैक्टर ठीक है ना?
और मैं यहाँ पर
You got the factors back, right? First you multiplied and again created factors which are same as these.
हाँ.
So why did you do this?
मैं सोच इनका कंपोनेंट तो ले लूँ.
Why
CND.
that? Now, I will not give you the hint because I think you had created a very nice method to solve a question which was very original. But ठीक है, you can use your comparando, but मुझे लगता नहीं उससे भी कुछ. अब भी अगर कॉम्पेरेंडो डिविडेंडो लगा दें हम तो क्या हो जाएगा? समथिंग ऐसे थोड़ा छोटा हो जाएगा.
वापस CND लगा
क्योंकि
दीजिए.
remember there are two variables and you just have one equation.
हाँ.
That's a problem, right? You need two variables, two equations to solve this. How do you handle something like this then? Let's do some more. अच्छा, इसमें हो सकता है. Oh, nice.
यार.
No?
नहीं आ रहा सर.
Okay, so think in terms of the way you generally do this. The way you generally do this is product of two numbers. What could be these two to get a 90, and what could be these two to get a 30? Factors. Two factors are given. So m और n क्या हो सकते हैं? If you have to do hit and trial to satisfy this. 10 nines are is 90. So, but and makes sense because m plus n minus 1 है. तो अगर m plus n 10 हो जाए तो m plus n minus 1 9 हो जाता है. तो 10 and 9 works well for this. And if I multiply these two, इसमें अगर मैं डालूंगा तो 10, अच्छा इन दोनों को सॉल्व कर लें अगर, तो सॉल्व तो होगा नहीं ये. So we have to do some guessing around on this. What could be those two m and n's that satisfy both the factors?
Okay.
6 and 4?
नहीं 6
6, 6, 7 and 4? नहीं. 90 के क्या क्या हो सकते हैं? 10 into 9. 15, 6 are 15 and 6. So sum could be 15. The sum could be 15. And the difference, what could be those two numbers which you can guess? Now it's hit and trial. It is nothing because you just have two factors to deal with. You don't have anything else. ठीक है,
6 and
90 तो
4
there is, you don't have a choice but to get it
6
right.
and 4 भी ठीक है वैसे.
हाँ, ऊपर वाले के लिए 10 and 9 ठीक है. ऊपर वाले के लिए,
और
if you
6
notice.
and 4 है ना.
So if I say this is 10 and this is 9, so 10 into 9 is fine. How can I get m minus n as 30? क्या नंबर लूँ मैं? ले लूँ 6 और 5 ले लूँ. So I'm saying m plus n is equal to 10 and m minus n is equal to 6. 2m is equal to 16, m is equal to 8 and n is equal to 2.
इससे बढ़िया हम
What is the other way you can get 30? 6
15
into
और
5
6
is 1. 10 into
15
3.
और 15 into 6.
But how will you satisfy this? 15 and 6 don't fit here, na? 10 and 9 fit here. दोनों में 1 का डिफरेंस है ना, यहाँ 1 का डिफरेंस भी तो है. There's a difference of 1 here. And if you notice 6 and 5, if this is 6, it is 1 less. So 5 makes sense. If I take 15 and 6 and I try to fit here, if this is 15, this can't be 6 then. This will be 14 because you've already decided m plus n.
अच्छा तो m plus n is equals to 10.
Right. Right.
m equals to 8. n आ जाएगा 2. ये सही है.
हाँ जी. Yes.
n आ जाएगा 2 और m आ जाएगा 8.
Yes.
हिट एंड ट्रायल.
Wow, hit and trial, which is what generally you do many, many times. But today you didn't do it.
मैं सोच रहा था कि थोड़ा इंट्यूशन लगा देते.
Okay. Not bad.
अगर उससे तो निकला ही नहीं.
Okay. Okay, so one fill in the blanks question for you. Let us see at the
वरना मैं वैसे वो यूज कर लेता
क्या?
इट एंड ट्राई.
Can, because you just have one equation to deal with. What do you do? So this is a very fundamental question. Can you try and complete this? Fill in the blanks. More of a flashcard for you. Not a flashcard. Flashcard is help to use to memorize. Fill in the blanks.
Permutations refer to the different arrangement of things from given lot. Permutations.
Right? These are because they are arrangements. Agreed.
एक और मिसिंग पोस्टर.
ठीक है. Permutation. Yes. So now if you know the exact, very definition centric, permutation is correct. So I will give that to you that this is permutation. So agreed. So this is permutation. So there you are right. And I think this one is also simple, right? Are things taken out is denoted by how do you denote a permutation? Are things taken out of
हाँ
n dissimilar
NPR
things?
NPR.
NPR. So that is very basic definition. So I will give this also to you. What about the other? What is happening in the other? So NPR includes what? What's the quality that word which is the key word when you define permutation? So there is a lot given to you of n things, which are different things. But
Taken
you,
a lot.
uh,
Taken
uh,
dash and dash at a time.
yes, इसमें जो इंक्लूड हो जाती हैं सारी डेफिनेशन में. ओके. वन और मोर एट अ टाइम.
अच्छा one or more at a
ऑफ
time.
कोर्स.
The number
ओके.
of arrangements.
विच अरेंजमेंट्स. जब एनपीआर लिखते हैं सो व्हाट्स द क्वालिटी ऑफ दोज अरेंजमेंट्स?
They are arranged in R ways.
ऑल आर
Different.
डिफरेंट. लिखा भी था यहाँ पे, बट ठीक है वो थिंग्स थी. All are different arrangements. So very definition centric and very concept oriented. कि एग्जैक्टली दिमाग में बैठा हुआ है परम्यूटेशन का मीनिंग. ऑब्वियसली हमने कई बार डिस्कस करा, लेकिन मैं बार बार डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि अलग अलग तरीके से वही चीज को हाउ डू आई हेल्प यू मेमोराइज इट. सो कीवर्ड स्टे विद यू.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say a question to you is slightly tricky, but you should be able to do it. Slightly analytical, okay?
Eight into five. In 40 ways.
No. So how did you think about it? You said so there are 8 regular doors and 5 emergent. So you are. So he says the can be opened only from the inside. Okay. So you can enter from a regular door. in 8 ways, but you can come out in how many ways?
Only 5 ways.
13 ways.
Okay. अच्छा.
Enter and leave. This is entry. But you can leave
ठीक
from any door, na, because they open from inside.
है.
Okay? This we have done. नागी फिर से आ गया. Again, a Nagi has come. Book वाला भी आ गया. We have done that. ओह, ये भी पता है.
डिक्शनरी वाले क्वेश्चंस मिसलेनियस में काफी थे.
हाँ. I think we have done this, but no problem. Even if it's a repeat, it is okay.
ये हमने करा हुआ है.
करे almost. There is hardly anything we have not done, but ठीक है. But thinking has to be developed. That's all. You can recognize and do it instantaneously. कि ठीक है, पता है. No two women sit together. Wow. Okay. And M is greater than N.
मतलब वो ऑल्टरनेटिवली बैठे हैं.
Right. Do it with some numbers. Take a number in your mind and then try and do it with the same way. पहले किसी को बिठा दो, फिर alternately उसमें woman रख लो. And how many ways can you have M men sitting? And then see how many places are left for women. बीच में जो जगह रह गई उनके. Because,
3 मैन और 2 वुमन है.
हाँ. Visualize it, na, that how men will sit. Yes. First do this step. Visualize alternatively the men are sitting and women. Yeah, this is the correct. So ये कहाँ तक जाएगा men? MM तक जाएगा men. Men will go till MM. Right? So you can have dash 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 MM. That's a number of men. Just give me 1 second. ठीक है, सही करा है. Why have you stopped? So MM. So how many places are available for men? M, right? One, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Sorry, mth. So M men have M places to sit. और उनके बीच में जगह कितनी हो जाएगी? यहां से स्टार्ट करें. वुमन वन कैन सिट हेयर, बाय द वे. So women can sit here. So women have one more place to sit. So which means M plus one, and they are N women. So women can sit like this, and men can sit like this. So to explain all of this.
Okay.
Yeah. Even if you've done this, if you don't practice this analytical topic, you will tend to forget. Therefore, it is important to do all the assignments you get in this. ये algebraic नहीं है, ये थोड़ा सा thinking power है, ज्यादा भी नहीं है, ठीक ठीक है, मतलब
हो जाएगा proof अब तो.
up to now this is just a pure solution types. Let me just share fill in the blanks with you. Very simple, but I'm just keeping you fresh with the concept also, so that you can parallelly see. क्योंकि कई बार मैं कर देता हूँ तो you may think you have done this, but you have not done the practice, right? Which is a difference. You have no practice, so you tend to forget. इसकी असाइनमेंट कर लेना if I send it to you.
ठीक है.
बहुत सिंपल होगी, क्योंकि वो सिर्फ ये नहीं होगा कि वो याद नहीं आ रहा था, that approach doesn't help. हाँ जी, so this is your question. Okay? Very basic question, fill in the blanks.
Combinations.
Which one?
First.
देखो, order, when the order is significant,
Order is significant.
order matters.
नहीं, it is permutation.
उल्टा बोल रहे हो, हाँ? Just be careful. Permutation.
Permutation.
And notice the other one.
This is combination.
Yes. Very basic, but still you can do mistake. वो पक्का कब होगा? When you do the complete assignments. सब में यही होगा. धीरे धीरे वॉल्यूम बढ़ जाएगा और ब्रेन पावर विल नॉट हेल्प यू. Repetition will help you. Currently you're working purely from your brain power. Volume बढ़ जाएगा, it will not help. इसलिए रेपिटेशन का मतलब है असाइनमेंट करना, उससे और यू विल बिकम मोर स्ट्रांग. Spouses ought to be seated next to each other. So each one of them becomes a bundle. So this is 3 factorial, and between them they can sit in 2 factorial ways. Clear?
Okay. Yes, sir.
है ना? हमने करे हुए हैं ऐसे क्वेश्चन. Nothing new for you. If you start doing assignment, you will see the magic. How the balance marks which you are losing will come. तो ब्रेन पावर की भी लिमिटेशन है. कहीं पे जाके रेपिटेशन प्लेज अ मोर इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. आई एम अ रेपिटेशन गाय बिकॉज आई हैव लिमिटेड ब्रेन. So I use repetition power. You have very good gray matter. So there are 87 families.
Combination वाला question.
Okay. 52 have almost, yeah, 50 have at most, sorry,
At most.
2 children. In a rule, 20 families are to be chosen for assistance, of which at least 18 family must have at least at most 2 children.
तो ठीक है.
Okay.
52
Hmm.
C18.
It's a choice. Okay. So 52 in a 220 families are to be chosen. So 18. Okay.
87 C2.
No, no. But balance will be selected from where?
2 na. 87 families. Sorry, balance would be selected from
87 minus 52.
2. ये होता है 35
ठीक है.
plus
Agreed.
52 C19
Hmm.
into 35
ठीक है.
C1.
And you can have all the 20 families also having 2 children. So 52 C20 also. Last option.
It is at least.
Ah.
It would be 52 C20.
Yes.
और फिर लंबा आ जाएगा. ठीक है.
ठीक है. Just write them answer. Kada. You can leave it here also. It's okay.
हाँ जी. सर 3 लाइब्रेरी टिकट्स मतलब यानी कि एक लाइब्रेरी टिकट से हम एक बुक खरीद सकते हैं.
A boy has 3 library tickets and 8 books of his interest in the library. ठीक है? He does not want to borrow part 2 unless math part is also borrowed. Okay. So, okay. 3 tickets है ना? So he can borrow at the most how many books? 8 में से चुन सकता है वो. He has to select from 8. And 3 books have to be selected. And there is a restriction that he does not want to borrow unless is also borrowed. So first take any 3. And select the number of ways he can select part 1 and part 2. उसमें ये भी इंक्लूड हो जाएगा ना एनी 3 में कि मैं मैथ्स बुक 2 भी मिल गई उसको, चाहे मैथ्स 1 मिली या नहीं मिली. सो विच केस इज द
unless
वन?
ये कि he does not want to borrow mathematics part 2 unless
Unless,
mathematics.
but
तो
if you
अगर
just
उसमें
do
math
8C3, then there is no restriction, na? But you're putting a restriction on this that he does not want to borrow. So out of the 8 books, there is a maths part 2, and that you can only borrow as a pair with maths part 1. So you have a pair now. If you choose this pair, then it's what? 8 books में से ये 2 आ गई तो बाकी 6 में से एक चुन सकते हो. 861.
8 नहीं सॉरी 7C2.
Okay, you're saying उनको 7 बना दिया.
हाँ जी. अब ना
Okay.
मैथमेटिक्स पार्ट 1 ले ली तो
हाँ ठीक है. और वो 2 आपस में no, because you have to take both. Take first and then only you can take second. You can't do reverse. ठीक है. 7C2. So this is which case? Why are you borrowing 2 books here when you have to borrow 3?
सर क्योंकि मैथमेटिक्स पार्ट 1 अगर बोरो कर ली तो
कर ली तो
उसमें एक साथ 7 बुक्स होती हैं.
7 बुक बची. हाँ, लेकिन सिलेक्शन कितनी हुई?
3 बुक्स.
Hold on. If you, if you have borrowed, which is what I told you, if you borrow maths part 1, then you are borrowing maths part 2. Then what is the choice you're left with for the balance 1 book? तो 6 में से एक ही तो चुननी है. ये तो हो गई ना सिलेक्शन. ये choice is made. This choice is made. This choice is also made because you borrowed 1 and 2. This choice is made, so third book will come from 6, right? What if you don't borrow book 2? So this is when you borrow the book 2, then you're left with only this. But इसने ये तो नहीं बोला कि सिर्फ book 2 ही ये वाली condition ही लेनी है, ये वाली, which is you borrow the book 2.
तो
ये तो एक दिया हुआ है कि भाई अगर बुक 2 तभी लेगा जब बुक 1 लेगा, तो वो तो एक ही मेथड है, बट अदरवाइज इज फ्री टू चूज 3, सो विच मीन्स वो पेयर बन जाएगा। दो तो, सॉरी मेरे इंक क्या क्या हो गया, 7C3। So if he actually goes for book 2, then the number of choices he has is this 6 choices only. These are the ways, 6 ways only. He has 6 choices to pick from. One book, 6C1. Now the second choice is, he decides कि ठीक है फर्क नहीं पड़ता मुझे, बुक 2 आई विल नॉट बोरो इट, ओके, रिमूव इट। यहां तो बुक 2 चुन ली ना इस चॉइस में, borrow maths 2, not borrow maths 2. If you don't borrow maths 2, what happens to you? You've already eliminated one book then. 7 रह गई books. 7 में से 3.
Yes, sir.
So just add these two. So I think the problem in these questions is the kind of language which is used. He does not want to borrow. ठीक है, but that is a condition or restriction only in one case. In other case, he may not borrow. हमने जब खरीद दोनों निकाल लिए हमने।
Okay. ठीक है सर।
You need some water. Okay, let's go to the next page. All right, so look at this. Two specific things occur together. So restriction. Permutation with restriction.
कहाँ पर?
Second page. Permutation with the restriction.
स्पेसिफिक बोले तो
Specific का लिखा हुआ है, ठीक है। Two things have to occur together. You may have to pick the two together, like we picked in the earlier example. We had to pick book 1 and book 2 together. So in your mind, how many type of permutation questions you have seen so far, which we discussed? One was with identical objects.
हाँ जी।
Identical, right?
Yes sir.
And what was the other one you saw?
जिसके अंदर से वॉल्स टुगेदर आते हैं।
हाँ,
ये भी वही
permutation with identical objects में कैसे करते हैं? If there are objects which are identical in a set, then how many permutations are possible
अगर
given they are repeating? उसमें ये करते हैं ना हम कि भाई let the number of total
जो
particles,
रिपीट हो रहे हैं उनका फैक्टोरियल ले लेते हैं।
और जो आइडेंटिकल होते हैं उससे डिवाइड कर लेते हैं, जो एक जैसे होते हैं, indistinguishable. So permutation with indistinguishable objects which are similar, identical rather. 3 ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं वो बिल्कुल आइडेंटिकल है.
जी।
This is permutation with identical objects.
Yes.
Which else do you remember? Permutation type.
हाँ हाँ जी
So this is called as what? This is a permutation with repetition, right?
हाँ जी
So there's a repetition happening. Some of the things are occurring, they're identical simultaneously. They are not distinguishable. अगर मैं आपको बोल दूं, if you remember what we did was, if you have 7 words given to you, okay? For example, the words are any 7 letters, sorry, okay? So the word could be, so there are, for example, oranges, okay? कितने 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? These are the letters which are available to you, and there is no restriction in how many ways can you arrange them. Matlab, there is permutation with repetition is allowed. So how many ways can you arrange them? Arrangement only. Identical मतलब ये नीचे वाला नहीं कह रहा
हाँ जी
मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि इनको अरेंज करना है सिर्फ.
7
If you
फैक्टोरियल
7 raised to power,
नहीं 7 फैक्टोरियल
why? Repetition allowed है ना, there is no restriction.
अच्छा रेपिटेशन
Where
इज
have I
अलाउड
said? I was just जो मर्जी कर लो. So at
7 raised
each,
to power 7
हाँ, 7 raised to power 7. But if I tell you that the first word will be n, then what will you do? If I tell you the first word will be n, then how will
7
you
raised to
arrange?
power 6
7 raised to power 6. So restriction has come in. ये तो याद है, ये तो करा था ना हमने.
हाँ जी
Okay. You should be able to immediately catch hold of the type of question in your mind, which means please be very clear on the patterns. जो मैंने ये लिखा था, ये किसका एग्जाम्पल था?
कौन सा सर
ये वाला राइट साइड पे ये. So
एकदम परम्यूटेशन विद
this was
रेपिटेशन
permutation with what? What was the keyword you would like to highlight? Permutation with what?
परम्यूटेशन विद रेपिटेशन
No, this is permutation with repetition, right? And this one is permutation with restriction. This is permutation with identical things.
हाँ जी ओके
Permutation with identical things.
ओके
So how अभी तो हम प्रोग्रेस कर रहे हैं थोड़ा थोड़ा, राइट? वी जस्ट trying to understand, but it has to enter your mind कि which type of question I am doing. क्योंकि जो अभी सामने जो question you see in front, जैसे सर्कुलर वाली है वो दिख जाती है, उसमें लिखा ही होता है सर्कुलर, राइट? So you can easily identify with it.
यस सर
Okay. So how will you do this? Try this. Let me see if repetition, these words are important in your mind. That what type of question am I doing? What pattern is it? Is it identical things? Is it with restriction, without restriction? Try to do this. Let me give you the full question. मैं तो उन्हीं चीजों को बार बार करवा रहा हूँ अलग अलग फॉर्मेट में. ओके, so this is part 1 of your question. So you have to create a 4-digit number, but if, look at this, the number must be even with no repetition. Even तो रखना है, but repetition allowed नहीं है. फिर है then with repetition. Four digit. जीरो तो आएगा नहीं, 6 नंबर अलाउड है पहले। नहीं, पहले तो फर्स्ट डिजिट भी और लास्ट डिजिट भी इवन होना चाहिए। सो लास्ट में सिर्फ 2, 8 एंड 0, 3 नंबर अलाउड है। राइट, क्रिएट 4 बॉक्सेस।
There are three even numbers.
हाँ जी,
तीन even numbers है ना?
हाँ। So you will create a box, right? First thing you do is create boxes because you have 4 numbers to fill up. And you will show here that I can put 0, 2, and 8. So I have 3 choices here. And repetition is not allowed. So if you've selected one of them, out of the numbers which are given, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers, you can put the first which number? So 1 is gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 बचे। 0 तो आ ही नहीं सकता, तो 5 बचे। रेपिटेशन भी अलाउड नहीं है।
Yeah.
Now the second part.
With repetition, it would be 3 into everything.
Take deep breath.
Okay. Yes, sir. So there would be 5 into. Nee, how many digits are there? Sir,
जी बताइए।
how many digits are there? कितने digits है? Like जो given है.
ये रे ऊपर दिए तो हैं यार।
Total 7 है ना?
यार गिन लो ना।
7 है, okay. 6 into 7 into 7 into 3.
Okay, I think you're not able to concentrate. Got it. 6
Hmm.
into
7 into 7 into 3.
हाँ, इससे you didn't compromise here. इधर 0 नहीं आ सकता था and then you repeated. Makes sense. So this was okay. So I'm just seeing randomly if it helps you place the question in your mind that which type of question is it. If you can place that in your mind, it's very simple. So permutation with restriction. अगर ऐसे लिखा हो the two words have to be together, they cannot be together, then this is a permutation with restriction. So how do you find permutation of or R objects from n different objects?
क्या sir?
If I say there are R objects with me, I have R objects
Hmm.
which I have to take from n for the purpose of arrangement. So I have to permute. I have to arrange
NPR.
NPR. Right? That's a most straightforward type of permutation which is possible. Which means you're saying this question is a permutation of R objects from n different objects. जो हमने definition में पढ़ा. So basically, most of the time you're doing permutation of R objects from n different objects, NPR, right? But as you progress into this, you start realizing then you can permute, but with restrictions also. You can do permutation, but then there can be restrictions. These two have to be together. Then this has to be together. Then you can also do permutation of n objects, which is what we are doing. NPR, but repetition comes in. Then this restriction comes in, then you do it in a very different manner. Because there is word, they have to be together, they have to be this. There is another way that you see that when you permute n objects, but of some of them, some of the objects in them are identical. So they could be 100 objects which are available to you. And now out of that 100, 12 are of one identical kind. Then 13 are of some identical kind. Then 14 are of different kind. So they are like bunches within the set. तो उसमें वो जो छोटे छोटे bunch बने हुए हैं वो वाला केस है identical objects का. n factorial divided by a factorial divided by b factorial divided by c, because there are certain objects of a quantity which are identical, then b quantity which are identical, and c quantity which are identical. So you also divide with the identical. Maybe balance are not identical, so usse divide nahi kara aapne. If out of the 100, 8 are identical, another 17 are identical, and then 15 are identical, then it's 100 factorial divided by 8 factorial, 17 factorial, and 20 factorial. Example ke taur pe. So get this in your mind that when you do permutations, you deal with normal permutation, which is the permutation of arrangement of n objects, permutation of R objects from n different objects, which is very standard. So you see the question and you say, this is pure question of permutation of R object. There is no restriction in this. But if you see the word, they have to be together, they have to be like this, they cannot be together. Then you're saying, okay, he's asking me to permute, but with restriction. Then the third category, again, permutation of things, right? Permutation of n from n objects, but identical objects are present in those n objects. Now, how do? You divide it with the जो repeat हो रहे हैं उनके factorial से भी divide करना है. And what is the fourth permutation you studied?
एक repetition था
ठीक है, हो गया वो.
और एक
circular permutation.
Circular.
So whenever you get a question, if you can get this in your head, yeah, I am dealing with normal permutation with restriction, permutation with identical objects, and then circular permutation. Your life will become much easier. Although दिखता नहीं है शुरू में, as we have progressed, मैंने नाम लिए हैं कि ये ऐसा है, ये वाला ऐसा है, but I have not consciously tried to tell you that, try and place the questions like this. You have done all the questions very spontaneously with common sense. Agreed? But then you see, even after doing many questions, you start getting stuck. थोड़ा सा you get stuck because you're not very sure कि क्या करना है इसके अंदर.
हाँ जी.
So permutation basically, we have done some definition and all that. Okay, so factorial you understand. You understand it is order will matter a lot in this. Okay. You know the theorem also. NPR theorem is known to you. Okay, if I tell you a question and tell me which type of permutation is it, and then let's do it also. I will just read the question. I will not show it to you. Compute the sum of 4-digit numbers, which can be formed with the 4 digits 1, 3, 5, 7. Compute the sum of all the 4-digit numbers then that can be formed with the 4 digits 1, 3, 5, 7. But if each digit is used only once in the arrangement, so which means I have put what?
One digit यानी कि repetition is not allowed.
हाँ, restriction ही एक ही तरह से हो गई है. अलाउ दोबारा नहीं
can be
करेंगे.
arranged in
You
4
have to find how
factorial.
many 4-digit numbers are possible.
4 factorial.
4 factorial. Correct. If I tell you that now the number of permutation of n distinct objects, okay, but taken r at a time, that means you're permuting r objects out of n distinct objects, but there is a condition that one of the particular object cannot be taken in the arrangement. What will this expression change into? एक को अलाउड नहीं है लेना. आर को ही कर रहे हैं परम्यूट,
जी.
एन अवेलेबल है, लेकिन दीदी इससे इसको नहीं हाथ लगाना परम्यूटेशन में, नहीं करना इंक्लूड.
Yeah. n-1 p r-1.
नो, आर तो सेम ही रहेगा ना. आर
R
तो आप n-1 से भी निकाल सकते हो ना.
n-1 pr.
पी आर.
ठीक है.
Good. Now you applied because I didn't write. Now let me test you in another way. Okay, now you're again doing permutation of R objects still. And you have n distinct objects. You're doing normal permutation, but इसमें एक मैं आपको बोल रहा हूं कि one object is always to be included. अब एक और तरह की रिस्ट्रिक्शन है ना, अब इंक्लूड करना पड़ेगा जबरदस्त. ये तो लो गई आर के अंदर. अब क्या करोगे? वो तो फिक्स हो गया, जैसे कि वो मैथ्स 2 और मैथ्स 1 की भी फिक्स ही हो गई थी 3 में से. नाउ योर परम्यूटेशन इज स्टिल ऑफ आर ऑब्जेक्ट्स, बट विद द कंडीशन कि भाई जो ये वाला ऑब्जेक्ट है, दिस हैज टू बी टेकन बाय यू कंपल्सरली व्हेन यू डू द परम्यूटेशन. एन डिस्टिंक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट्स है, आर की परम्यूटेशन करनी है इनमें से अरेंजमेंट, लेकिन कंडीशन है इन आर में से एक फिक्स चक लेना ही पड़ेगा. अब कैसे एक्सप्रेशन बदलेगा? दिस इज ऑल्सो अ टाइप ऑफ परम्यूटेशन विद रिस्ट्रिक्शन, बट नाउ द लैंग्वेज इज नॉट एक्सक्लूडेड कि एक को बाहर रखना है और n-1 पीआर करना है. अब है कि एक को इंक्लूड करना है mandatorily. So there are two types of restrictions. One include, one exclude. So now we are including mandatorily. This has to be included. Only one.
n+1 pr.
पहली बात तो यूनिवर्स से व्हेन यू डू द सिलेक्शन, अगर एक हटा ही दिया है कि उसको लेना ही लेना है ना, तो व्हेन यू डू परम्यूटेशन तो अरेंजमेंट में वो तो रहा ही नहीं, क्योंकि वो तो सिलेक्ट हो गया. That has been selected. Like the 2 books got selected and 1 book was left from 6C1. तो आपका यूनिवर्स का साइज कितना हो गया? सेट का साइज n ऑब्जेक्ट्स का n-1 हो गया. एक तो सिलेक्ट हो गया, एक को तो और कर दिया, लेना ही पड़ेगा. और आपको जब चुनना है r डिस्टिंक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट्स, वो कितने हो गए? r-1. Which means now you are going to permute r-1 from n-1. Okay, so let me write it. So let's say we are doing permutation with restriction, and the case I am discussing is you still have n distinct objects or whatever you want to call that, and you're permuting r out of them, but there is a condition that one of the object restriction, one of the object has to be included in the arrangement. वो तो फिक्स हो गई ना उसकी जगह, वो तो गया ना. तो बाकी अब जो चुनाव करना है, कितनों का करना है? n-1 p r-1, the balance. So if you have to do permutation of n r objects out of n with a condition that one particular object is always included, then the arrangement is this in front of you. But what was the previous case? Tell me, इससे जो पहले restriction थी क्या थी वो? That object has to be always excluded. करना आर कोई परम्यूट है, लेकिन ये वाला नहीं लेने देंगे. तो आपका जो बड़ा सेट था एन डिस्टिंक्ट का, वो बन गया n minus 1. So this became your distinct, but you still have the liberty to do r permutation of r out of them. So your new answer is n minus 1 pr, which means now one of the object has to be excluded. तो ठीक है, वो नहीं ले सकता मैं इसके अंदर, लेकिन बाकियों में से तो मैं परम्यूटेशन फिर भी आर की कर ही सकता हूँ. कैन स्टिल डू अरेंजमेंट. सो व्हाई आई एम डिस्कसिंग ऑल ऑफ दिस, इफ यू लुक इनटू द एनसीईआरटी प्रॉब्लम व्हिच वी वर ट्राइंग टू डू, आई डोंट नो वेयर इज इट गॉन, किधर गई? हाँ, look at the flavor of the question. You have n different objects taken r at a time. The two have to be included always. Like here, one was to be included always. Sorry, included always was this one.
Okay.
तो आपने दो को तो चुन ही लिया ना एनसीईआरटी के क्वेश्चन के हिसाब से. यू हैव सिलेक्टेड टू, राइट? दे अकर टुगेदर. अगर ये होगा तो ये भी हो जाएगा उसके साथ में.
ठीक है.
how what do you think should be the expression? What permutations are you left with? What's your universe size now? Is it n minus 2 or is it n and 1 and 2 का बंडल बना लोगे?
n minus 1 p r minus 1.
No, hold on. So two things have to occur together. So what's the size of your universe anyway? They're included, right? n minus 2 रह गया आपके पास.
Yes, sir.
और and
So n
these
minus 2
हाँ, so
factorial.
and they themselves can be organized in these many ways. ये दो है ना, एक नहीं है. Two specific things can occur. ऑर्डर मैटर करता है ना, कौन सी पहली हुई और कौन सी बाद में हुई. One more term is missing.
Okay.
What term is that? n minus 2 pr minus 2, because we have assumed both are included. तो यूनिवर्स का साइज कम हो गया, बट दोनों की आपस में भी अरेंजमेंट मैटर करती है. ऑर्डर है तो ये अरेंजमेंट इज सिग्निफिकेंट. सो 2 फैक्टोरियल. व्हाट एल्स? So if I tell you that when I do the arrangement of two things and I have r, so I have to do arrangement of 2 and I have r places to fill up. दो तो अरेंज करने हैं ना मैंने. वो 8 में से r में से कितनी तरह से अरेंज हो जाएंगे वो? If I have to pick 2 and arrange in r slots, बाकी तो ऐसे हो जाएंगे slots. But when I come with 2, I see in front of me, I have to fill up. I have a choice of so many. r minus 1. एक को कहीं भी डाल लो तो दूसरे के पास कितनी चॉइस है? तो आपने यूनिवर्स में से ये दोनों हटा दिए जो आपने भरे. बाकी आपका यूनिवर्स हो गया n minus 2. मतलब ये अगर n तक है तो दिस इज अ यूनिवर्स. उनमें से दो आपने भर दिए, अरेंज कर लिए यहां पे, मान लो ये वाले, उन दोनों का अब भरने के बाद 2 फैक्टोरियल आपस में, but when they come into R and you have to permute, you have to make arrangement of 2 in R slots. How will you fill these two which happen together? They happen together and you have R slots in front of you. In how many ways can you arrange 2 in R slots? How many ways you can arrange 2 uh, objects in 3 slots? ये A और B है आपके पास, A B, A B, B A. Or anything else that comes to your mind. 2 things being filled up in 3 slots. B A. A B B A B A. 4.
Yes.
A B A B B A B A. And can it be extreme also? B A and A B. This part is clear to you? N minus 2
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
P R minus 2 into 2 factorial is clear? The
Yes.
only part is how do you have R objects, sorry, 2 specific objects filling up R spots? How will you write it? RC2?
हाँ जी.
कैसे? द्वितीय बन जाएगा R minus 2 2 factorial. This is what it will become. So this will become R into R minus 1. R minus 2 चला गया, नीचे 2 आ गया. So this is R into R minus 1. But this is not selection. We have to fill up R slots using 2. How many ways you can put 2 specific things in R places? If you can answer this, you have the into R minus 1 also. No?
ये नहीं समझ आ.
Okay. ये वाला पार्ट समझ में आ गया?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी. N minus 2 P2.
Okay. Wait, let me give you a question so that you can do this also. Okay. राउंड टेबल तो सर्कुलर हो जाएगी. Okay. Question is this. Okay. I think this is very so simple one. Try this. नॉट टुगेदर. ओके, रिस्ट्रिक्शन इकट्ठे नहीं रखना, नहीं रखते. कोई दो बुक्स हैं जो कभी इकट्ठी नहीं आनी चाहिए. दे हैव टू बी केप्ट अवे फ्रॉम ईच अदर. So if there was no restriction, what will you do? Think logically. अगर कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शन आती तो कैसे रखते? इन बुक्स को रखना है अपने शेल्फ में. कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शन ना होती तो हाउ वुड यू राइट? राइट फ्री फ्लो.
n फैक्टोरियल.
आंसर. ठीक है.
ठीक है, ठीक है.
अब नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट इन हाउ मेनी वेज कैन यू पुट टू बुक्स टुगेदर? टू वेज.
हाँ जी.
या पहले ये या दूसरी है. मतलब ये एक ही बुक बन गई ना, एक बंडल बन गया ना आइडेंटिकल. मतलब जैसे हम करते हैं तो n-1 हो गया टोटल बुक्स, क्योंकि ये दो का एक बंडल बना लिया.
यस सर.
क्लियर?
हाँ जी.
ठीक है. तो यू हैव n-1 बुक्स. हाउ विल यू कीप n-1 बुक्स नाउ?
n-1 फैक्टोरियल.
n-1 फैक्टोरियल. तो आपने टोटल नंबर ऑफ वेज कितना हो जाएगा आपका इन दोनों का आपस में अगर कर लें हम? तो नॉर्मल तरीके से रखता तो n फैक्टोरियल रख लेता नॉर्मल तरीके से. लेकिन अगर मैं उसको एक बंडल मान लेता हूं तो टोटल नंबर ऑफ बुक्स हो जाती है n-1. तो आप बोलते हो n-1 फैक्टोरियल इंटू 2 फैक्टोरियल, क्योंकि वो आपस में भी पहले एक और दूसरी वो आपस में भी जो नॉर्मल मेथड है हमारा. तो हमारा टोटल नंबर ऑफ मेथड क्या आ गया आंसर? n-1 फैक्टोरियल इंटू 2. यही है ना?
यस यस.
नहीं आया तो बोल दो समझ में.
नहीं समझ आ गया.
And what was the total number of ways you had kept them in a free flow without restriction? N factorial.
n फैक्टोरियल.
अगर total number of ways you keep them is n factorial, and then you're also able to find the total number of ways you keep them together. Together रखने का आंसर है 2 into n-1 factorial. If you subtract these two, what happens? You will get the number of ways when they are not together.
ठीक है.
So sometimes please be very careful when you're doing not together. You may have to keep them together and then subtract from the normal permutation without restriction. So sometimes you also need to use a rationale that I will do permutation without restriction and then subtract the permutation with restriction. जैसे कि यहाँ नॉट टुगेदर था तो ये टुगेदर वाली परम्यूटेशन निकाल ली. सो इफ यू डू दिस यू विल गेट द परम्यूटेशन ऑफ नॉट टुगेदर.
ठीक है.
So we will continue to discuss this topic and hopefully this will enter your mind finally.
ओके.
क्वेश्चन कर लिए, एनसीईआरटी कर लिए, बट डेप्थ नहीं आती जब तक पूरी तरह से पकड़ना बन जाए कि हो क्या रहा है. इफ यू गेट दिस definition wise clear in your head and some of the patterns you see, it's very simple.
ओके.
So let's meet tomorrow and continue to discuss. फिजिक्स में स्टार्ट हो गया तुम्हारा चैप्टर?
सिस्टम ऑफ पार्टिकल्स.
हाँ,
हाँ स्टार्ट तो हो चुका है. रोटेशनल मोशन खत्म होने वाला है.
खत्म होने वाला है. ठीक है, विल
और
डू.
मुझे कुछ नहीं समझ आया.
कोई बात नहीं, इट्स वेरी सिंपल, डोंट वरी. ठीक है, लेट्स मीट टुमारो देन.